And it's up in Kenosha, that's where I long to be, protecting gas stations with commandos next to me. A comrade on me left, another one on me right, and a couple mags of ammo for me little Armalite.
All right. Ow, ow, ow! Welcome to the... I was about to say the pseudo-intellectual podcast, goddamn. No, welcome to TransTrenders the TransTrenders podcast. I'm your host, Six, and we have Digi-née.
AKA 66. In between the two of us, the number of the beast.
All right, that's fine. Digi?
Yeah.
How has your day and or week been?
Well, I'll tell you. I've been thinking, based on the activities of my week, that I cannot abide by the slow motion suicide segment any longer. We need to replace it with the fast motion suicide segment.
Okay, yes. Last week we took about 30 minutes to explain it.
Look,
we're not going that. We're not doing that anymore.
Slow motion suicide is for pussies, okay? Kill yourself faster. That's what I'm talking about. I've come to realize you can kill yourself, you think it's over, and then you realize it's still going. You gotta kill yourself again and faster.
No, it's actually more for pussies, because you're one of those people that's like, ooh, I don't want to suffer any pain. I'm gonna bitch out like instantly.
There's better reasons to kill yourself than to avoid pain. You can martyr yourself for various causes. You could make your death meaningful in some way.
But not only this, the very last podcast we also showed that you're an M, and it's like, wouldn't you want to have a slow, painful death?
Well, I would rather die in extremely violent, painful ways over and over again,
But cock and ball torture to death every time.
Oh, yeah, why not? So it would
be like an Iron Maiden for your dick.
The new segment is fast motion suicide, and what I am fast motion suicide. My fast motion suicide this week, as if we do this every week.
We have.
My fast motion suicide this week is accelerationism. It's the desire to go faster, do more, have more effects. You see, I think that people who become hikikomori, or who have very minimal influence, even if they're on the internet all the time, they just don't exert anything out there. It's because they're afraid of what's going to come back. It's like, ooh, if I do stuff, there's going to be results of the things I do, and the results are unpredictable. Who knows who I might piss off? And the fact of the matter is, no matter what you do, it will piss somebody off. If you do anything other than be inert, then you are not in the place where someone wants you to be. Because it's not about you acting against someone. Acting in your own best interest is acting against the best interest of people who want you to do what they want you to do. So, if you are doing anything actively, then you are doing more than what is desired of you by the people with the most control in society. So accelerationism, the act of doing more, of having more of an effect, causing the world to become more chaotic, and whoever can seize the reins of the chaos as it spirals will be the one setting the rules in the new world that unfolds in its wake. And will that be you, or someone else? Will you be allowed to live in the society that gets built after the chaos is over? If I've learned anything from V for Vendetta, the answer is no. So, accelerationism, Miyazaki said not to do it in Princess Mononoke, but I can't help myself. It's boring to not do anything.
I can completely agree.
I just don't want to have to watch Marvel movies. That's it. I have to accelerate fast enough to not have to watch Marvel movies.
If we can agree on anything, it's our lack of desire to want to watch Marvel movies.
How are you killing yourself faster this week?
My slow motion suicide, because I've been focused on what we have been doing for this week.
Are you there?
Hello? Can you not hear me?
I don't hear you anymore.
Oh, fuck.
Now I hear
No,
you.
what? My thing is lighting up green.
Now I hear you.
Okay, that was weird.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Okay, I was saying my slow motion suicide, because I only prepared a slow motion one for this week, is fucking communism.
Why do you not even? How do you personally distinguish what is a slow or fast motion suicide?
I don't mean enacting communism, but what I'm saying is literally just dealing with communists every day. What's it called? It started with an innocuous tweet. I don't even remember what it was, but it was just one tweet. And then all of a sudden, someone from like BreadTube or something quote tweeted it and put like 20 fucking commies in my what's it called? In my comment section. It had something to do with labor or whatnot, and what it means to be labor and stuff like that. And then that's when I just went on this fucking binge. I was like, all right, fine. So I made it my next goal for like the next 3 to 4 days to keep shitting on communists for so long. And it kept putting more in my thing. And I just started laughing from then on, because I was getting tweets, you know, like 2,000 likes, 2,000 and whatnot, just literally constantly shitting on communists.
All they want is attention.
Then I just started shitting on them as well. And then I started talking about how immoral their system is. Which is actually really funny, because they refuse, even to this day, they still refuse to answer that question. And every single time they come at me and try to talk, I will grab that tweet and link it to them, and they still sidestep and refuse to answer it.
People find the weirdest ways to express their masochism.
So, what's it called? Me, literally dealing with all these communists, it makes me want to kill myself. And I'm probably and that's probably how I'm gonna do my slow motion suicide.
What steps are you taking towards death of communism?
This is very simple, because I'm going to go on a capitalist rage and just work myself so hard to the point that I will find every single communist and not finish the sentence so that I can stay on YouTube.
Okay. Well, who won the last one?
All right. Who won the last one? All right, let me do the polls. So, okay, so the last polls were, is revenge porn good or bad? You said it is bad because it will raise her hot and raise her social status. I think I put a typo. It should have been hotness.
Yeah.
What's it called? And then I said it's good because it exposes women as liars. Which do you think won?
Well, because you misspelled mine, I'm gonna say yours probably won.
I don't know if I actually misspelled it. You might have actually.
You think I phrased it like that?
I think you did. Because I was trying to go word for word.
Hey, who won?
I won.
Yeah, fucking
it's good because it exposes women as liars.
Mine sounds retarded.
Oh, man. I mean, to be fair, it sounded retarded either way.
Probably true. I don't remember being that coherent on the last one.
Nah. Okay, so porn control. Is it good or bad? And one says no, because it's too much control, so it won't get you to see what other people want you to have, and fuck Subway. That one was yours. And mine is yes, because then you get to choose everything you want in porn, and women don't have a say.
Oh, well, I don't remember you throwing that little hook in there.
I specifically said in porn control
that women don't have a say.
I specifically said that you can force the women in the porn to do what you want, regardless of what they say. You.
Oh, okay. I thought that was gonna turn the table and make it yours. I guess your
I thought so as well.
Your audience doesn't want nobody. That's the thing. People don't know what they want. Like people don't want to have all the options. I mean, you have fun just getting to just do whatever, but it's like you have to really explore all of the tools at your disposal to even comprehend like what could be done with them. And most people are just like, I don't know, man. Am I not paying you to do that? Like when I go to Subway and they're like, give me like, tell me what you want on the sub. I'm like, what is your purpose? Like, why are you not just a machine? Like,
I don't know. I love Subway because it's like the most ultimate expression of libertarianism. It's like, it's all the good of libertarianism.
No, it's
and
not.
Twitter's like all the bad
No, it's absolutely not. The only options you have is what happens to be on display at the Subway.
No, you can actually bring up options. What's it called? You can bring stuff to Subway.
Sure.
Oh. Oh man.
Hey, what was the next one?
Come on, I love it. Subway's the ultimate expression of libertarianism. All right. Are traps real? Traps are real because Digi-née is a trap. Or traps aren't real because they have never been in fiction or reality. Digi-née, you are the winner.
Okay, did I say I was a trap? Was that my argument?
Yes.
Okay, that sounds... I don't remember even saying it like that, but that's obviously a winning...
No, that's because...
That's a winning phrasing.
Yeah, I made that phrase because you forgot to sum up your thing, so I summed it up for you.
You won it for me, then. You couldn't have chosen a better way to put it. You accidentally memed yourself out of victory this time. Or maybe you did it on purpose because you want to drink.
Little both. But cult of personalities. Is it it's good because you will be remembered long after your death? Or it's bad because Digi-née's legacy will be used to justify pedophilia?
What was the answer?
It's good because you will be remembered long after your death, which is mine.
Okay, are we at a stalemate?
So far, let's go to the. I didn't even look at them beforehand, so this is a surprise to me.
You've disappeared from me again. Yeah, I hear you again.
Okay, then. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know what's happening. It's showing up that I'm talking on my Discord and on Audacity.
That's super bizarre.
Okay, so Digi-née, based or spaced?
Probably spaced, right?
It's a tie.
Oh, I'm based and spaced in equal measure. That's a good place to be. I like to keep balance.
So that's like half a point for you.
Yeah.
The Unknown Otaku, based or spaced? I got based.
So is that what we're considering the tiebreaker, is whether you are based? Because being spaced is not necessarily worse than being based. I don't consider them value judgments. They're just simply statements of state of mind. I'm more curious, do people think that we are like on our game, or do they think that we're just like fucking totally out of it? Because either one can be funny. That's like the part of the appeal of this show to me, is that even if it's shit, that's just as funny as if it's good.
All right. Fine. That won't be a tiebreaker then.
All right, but you...
I thought that was the purpose of having the face or space.
Well, okay, would you rather win or lose then? Would you... What is your preference? Would you prefer to...
It wouldn't be me losing in either one.
But would you prefer to win or tie or lose? What is your preference?
I prefer to win, but I think what's it called? If we're going by this one, let's just tie and both drink.
Okay.
We
how much do we drink? I'll let you choose how much we drink since you are the winner.
All right. Let me grab... Nah, I don't want to drink that heavily. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Jesus.
That's all the Fireball I have.
Oh, no, not Fireball. Oh!
That's because I'm running out of alcohol because I haven't gone shopping for any in a little while. I was like, fuck, I don't have much alcohol left. I do have a little bit of moonshine, but I'm saving that for something else.
All right, well, I can probably finish my drink in the same time allotment as how long it takes you to drink that.
I'm sure you could drink, you could take 5 shots. You don't have to do 10.
All right, let's launch.
3, 2, 1. Woo!
We finished that fast?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. All right.
I told you, I can down, if I mix it with soda, I can down almost any alcohol, instantly.
Incredible. Well, shall we start arguing then?
Before we argue,
here on the TransTrenders podcast, where we have Twitter arguments that are insufferable. It's not. The title is just kind of it's unrelated. Don't worry about it. It makes sense when you listen to it.
Yeah. Oh man. So what I wanted to say before we start the arguments, what's it called? I wanted to just ask, did you know that Digi-née lost their Twitch partner, your long lost rival?
Yes, I heard about this.
What do you think of it? Oh, I wasn't saying this as a debate. I was just asking your general opinions.
You don't want to debate about it?
You want to?
Yeah, let's have a debate. Whether or not Destiny
all right,
deserves...
we'll add that one in then.
All right, Destiny absolutely deserved to get removed from Twitch because he is a fake gay. He wants the street cred of sucking dick, but he's only sucked a few dicks, and he's talked about it like he's talked.
You're not even.
He's talked about the few dicks that he's sucked in the amount that a porn star would talk about how much dick they suck. He acts like he sucked so much dick. He's so excited to talk about the dick that he sucks. Take it in the ass.
I don't know if he's actually sucked dick before, but he has gone on stream saying, yeah, I'd suck a dick. Yeah, there's not really much difference between male and female.
He did a whole thing where he talked about all the dicks that he said that he'd sucked less than 10 dicks was the way he phrased it, something like that.
Are you actually gay if you sucked less than 10 dicks?
That's what I'm saying. Well, he was talking to a gay guy and he was trying to make it out.
Fake gay.
He was trying to make it out to this guy, trying to relate to him over their sexual experiences. But the experiences he was describing, this gay guy was I don't really I haven't encountered the things that you're describing that you seem to think are commonplace to men. And also he said that he had sucked less than 10 dicks, which in my mind means 2. And he's talking to a guy who has, probably sucked, I don't know, dozens of dicks. And this guy's just why are you talking about this with such bizarre trepidation and excitement, as though it's ooh, it's such a big deal that I sucked a couple dicks, less than 10 dicks. I'm a gay now.
So do you know why he lost his Twitch partnership?
He clearly didn't suck enough dick, or else or the right person's dick.
I'm just wondering if you even know why he lost it.
No, I actually don't.
Oh man, okay. So, I actually posted the clip on my YouTube channel because it's that funny. I just did a small edit. We'll watch it at the same time.
Okay.
What's it called? I'll cut out the extra, but let's get straight to the point.
Because of the fact that you had uploaded this, but I did not watch it because it seemed like it might be too celebratory.
It's actually for your fast motion suicide. Actually.
Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
The rioting needs to fucking stop. And if that means like white redneck fucking militia dudes out there mowing down dipshit protesters that think that they can torch buildings at 10 p.m., then at this point they have my fucking blessing. Because holy shit, this fucking shit needs to stop. It needed to stop a long time ago.
It needs to stop
holy
encouraging violence so much.
Accelerationism. All right, it's done. Amazing.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, like, he has this kind of tendency to be like, you know what? Maybe we should just kill him. And it's like, well, I mean, we could have said that any time. Like, you can't just do that. You can't just encourage, like, no, it doesn't just have to stop. They need to just go mow him down. It's like, well, I don't know. There's a reason that the government didn't just do that. Have you considered, do you know those reasons?
Oh, no, the reason Destiny is saying this, what's it called, is because he's saying Trump is now starting to gain favor because of these Black Lives Matter protests. And because of that needs to stop, or else Trump is going to get reelected.
He wants the rednecks to kill the blacks so that they won't make Trump look good.
He is saying these protests need to stop. No, the rioting. Yeah. Specifically the rioting. The rioting needs to stop no matter who stops it, no matter what it takes to have it stop. It needs to stop because it's going to get Trump reelected.
Why would the rioting get Trump reelected? I don't understand the logic there.
Trump. Not just, well, the fact is, what's it called? Because the media is painting Trump as anti-BLM and all that, and BLM's the cause of these riots, and painting Joe Biden as pro-BLM, and because of all these riots, people are actually conflating Joe Biden.
How is it the riots' fault that Joe Biden is being painted as pro-BLM? That's his fucking fault.
It doesn't matter. It's the fucking normies, because apparently this is like all... Like, it is being swayed by normies. They're not, like, internet tech savvy like me or you. It's literally being swayed by normies.
I mean, it always is. It's, like...
It always is, yes. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's what Destiny understands. It's like, fucking normies will not fucking know this. And not to mention, it's also making BLM actually hated amongst normies as well. Oh man, it's just really funny. That's the context of that situation. But he's still saying it only under the stance of if someone is attacking you and or a business you want.
You want? A business you want?
It doesn't have to be you own. You can show up to defend property even if it's not your own property.
Sure.
Yeah. So what's it called? Stuff like that.
I mean...
he's talking completely in defense.
Yeah, I think it's fine to defend yourself. I would advise, don't live in these cities. Leave them. Go other places.
Especially because almost all of them are democratic cities. It would look amazingly hilarious if all of a sudden all companies just left democratic cities and just see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason Trump's going to get reelected, is that people are literally going to, like, leave these democratic-run places that they're like, oh, I see, the system has not worked here, you know, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny. So, my stance is, yes, Destiny probably should have been banned, but not even for that. My stance is, here's a clip of when Twitch made him a partnership a long fucking time ago, and said this. Get it ready? 3,
oh wait, hold on,
2,
hold on.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
You genuinely do hate conservatives, don't you?
Very much so. Like I've moved full on to like the political violence level or the real violence level when it comes to conservative people. Yeah, I think they need to be like excised from my fucking country. I think they are demonstrably fucking evil people by any moral system that most people would use. And then I just hate them because they tend to destroy the outcomes related to this country, which is what I'm concerned with. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a topic I'm not yet sort of ready to touch.
Yeah, so it's like he said a lot worse way before this.
That was the first one I had heard that I was like, Destiny, this is not, don't do that. Political violence. It's not. It's not the otaku way. The otaku way is the way of the righteous.
And you should never lose your way.
Don't lose your way in your mind. We have to be as one. Don't be afraid, my sweetheart.
Can this be my new slow motion suicide? All right, so what's it called? My stance is pretty much Destiny does deserve this ban, but not because of what he said that got him banned, but what he has said when Twitch turned a blind eye because it was for conservatives instead of, lefties. And, or more specifically, fucking commies.
Is there someone who said they were going to murder communists and didn't get pulled off Twitch?
No, what I'm saying... no, what I'm saying is Destiny should have been banned a long time ago for saying he would murder conservatives, and well, not him, but stuff like that. But his new thing is talking about Kenosha and shooting commies and whatnot.
Okay, so now he's shooting communists.
So what's it called?
Oh, so you're saying that the problem is that he didn't get pulled when he was talking about killing conservatives, but he is getting pulled for talking about killing communists.
Yes.
Okay, I follow.
It should have been pulled a long time ago.
Yeah.
And, I'm pretty sure Destiny was one of the few that spoke up and was completely okay with Leafy getting banned. So, whatever, fuck it.
Fuck him.
As well as, quite a few other people.
I don't understand how you can ever be okay with somebody getting banned. It's just like, if you're okay with anyone getting banned, then I'm okay with you getting banned. Fuck you. Like, the point of this is that no one gets banned. There's no reason to get banned. There is just none. There is no reason other than literally commanding people to do violence, which in this case is literally what Destiny had done. I mean, I don't know if he so much said like,
he's not
please go
people
out and commit violence.
Yeah.
But he is saying like, I would encourage it if somebody told me they were going to do it. And it's like, well, is that any different from just saying, if you have an idea, execute now?
I find it funny because Twitch didn't even give him a full ban. So, what's it called? Anyone else, they would have banned him, but because it was Destiny, they just removed his partnership. That's all they did. And I 100% think this is because they don't want a lawsuit, because they know Destiny will go to fucking court.
I mean, he probably should.
He probably
should.
How
fucking clear are these terms of service that these people are operating under,
I don't think they're clear, but the thing is, what's it called? These terms of service... To say Destiny...
Knowing how fucking...
on the terms of service, it says Destiny is inciting violence. Like, you are inciting violence. And then Destiny can take that to court. I don't know how good this will be of a legal defense, but you can take that to court as Twitch is accusing him of inciting violence. So it's liable because it's written. Mm-hmm. And what's it called? If you look... there's provable damages because they took him off the partnership program, and you can see how much it affects him.
He's the most his whole job is being pedantic. So I would not want to go to court with him about anything.
Oh man, I would love to see Destiny go to court in today's climate. Like, the kind of lawsuits that he was making would always fly in his favor. Like, you gotta be semantic and stuff like, I don't even know, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's like literally his bread and butter is being the most pedantically semantic human being alive. So,
oh man, no, that title belongs to Vosh.
No way. Vaush is not intelligent enough to be as pedantic as Destiny. Like, just straight up.
I'm not saying Vosh is intelligent, but he is pedantic. I'm not saying Vosh is even good at it. I just don't think
that Vaush is, like, Vaush wants to be more pedantic than Destiny. Destiny is flippantly, by the nature of his being, more pedantic than Vaush is capable of, is what I'm trying to say. Like, well, I am more pedantic. I am capable of being more pedantic than Vaush is. I'm not as capable of being pedantic as Destiny is. I don't think.
Well, I think this is actually due to the difference between Vosh and Destiny. While Vosh is just a fucking grifter and doesn't believe what he actually says, but he wants to placate to his audience at the same time, it's really hard for him to be pedantic and everything.
What is your argument for why he is a grifter and doesn't believe what he says?
Oh my god, I do not want to get into this argument.
Why not?
Why not? I spent 3 hours arguing.
Let's blow this podcast up. Let's start some drama. What's up with Vaush? What's wrong with that guy? Other than
Can we do this on a later date? Like, seriously, right. Let's do that. I will do it on a later date, and I'll bring my examples. Okay. All right?
Okay.
All right, because I have thousands of examples on why Vosh is a fucking grifter.
Let's get you into a fight with Vaush. Let's get it on the kill stream. Let's get a fucking let's get a blood sports going with you and Vaush.
Oh, I would not mind. But what's it called? When it comes to Destiny, I think he actually believes majority of the shit that he says, and because of that, what's it called? That's why it's so easy for him to be pedantic and like that. It's because he has a belief and he starts from there and everything like that. And then he's just justifying that belief.
Right.
But he actually does believe what he's saying, but he will go into semantics to prove it.
Right. Well, yeah, like you said.
I think that's the difference.
Destiny is willing to piss off literally anybody. Like, he is willing to say things that are... like, his audience is extremely vicious. They are not interested in him being... like, they're interested in him being right, but it's not as important that he's right as that he, like, destroys people for being wrong, you know? Like, they are like a piranha hive. Like, they're just, like, waiting for him to toss something in for them to bite at, you know? So it's like, Destiny, his audience, it doesn't matter who he throws into the tank. They will, like, their existence is to eat the flesh of whoever is given to them, you know? And he is, like, what dices it into pieces that they can, like, chew on, basically. So, like, because he is capable of that, he doesn't necessarily need alliances. He just has to be justified in his arguments, you know? And it's like, if you're willing to argue against him, then that's all he needs from you, is the willingness to argue, because he will out-argue you, because he will find a way to be more pedantic than you. He will find a granularity that he will stick you on, and he will not let you move past it until you can justify it.
I don't know. You know? I think there's a few arguments that not only can I win against him, but I think I can actually be more pedantic in.
I would love to see it. I'd love to see you do it. I want to watch people beat Destiny.
There is some,
because I synced Econ on him, and that went kind of well. Econ and him, but like Econ liked him too much.
I saw that.
Econ was sucked his dick way too much, because Econ is like all into debate, so he was just like, Destiny's cock tastes so good. Yeah, I want him to fuck my girlfriend.
I will tell you this: there's some things I want to debate Destiny on, and some things I want to debate Vosh on. But on majority of topics, I would not want to. Not because I'm not well-read or any of that, but because I think it would be way too much of a hassle and way too dishonest.
Yeah.
I want stuff like, what's it called? That they have actually firmly gone into scrutinous details on why they believe it, so they can't weasel out of their positions.
Yeah.
Which Vosh, on one hand, has done that multiple times for his thoughts on what's it called?
A lot of his positions, you mean?
Well, no, yes, he has. Well,
Your voice went away from me again.
Hello?
Oh, you're back.
Hello?
You're back.
No, I'm talking about Vosh has done stuff like that where they have gone into scrutinous in crazy detail on their positions. One of them being why there's no real moral difference, maybe on a significant scale, but no real moral difference on on buying CP versus buying a computer that was made through child labor.
What? He said there's no difference between those?
Morally, there's no difference. Just on a significant...
So, sex is the same as regular work. Like...
No, he was saying, what's it called? More of a... It's on a different scale, but morally, the idea is the same.
No, it's not. It's a
I know it's not. Like, it's not even comparable.
I mean, like, okay, work, like regular office or factory work, is something that you're going to be expected to do for the rest of your life, anyways. Like,
if you're a woman, sex is something you're expected to do for the rest of your life, anyways.
It doesn't have to be.
No, I have a different argument.
What's your argument?
We'll find out if Vosh ever accepts.
It's just like, I don't know. I think that, to me, like, if a kid is like 8 and you start like giving them jobs, like, and they can do them competently, like, to me, that is preparing them for the future better than, like...
I mean, the only hint I will do on what I believe is literally a communist versus capitalist argument. You'll see.
All right, well...
Or maybe you won't. Maybe he will not come at me. Who knows?
Do you want to move on to our next argument?
Okay, let's sum up our things. Destiny should be banned because he was a hit, because he broke the TOS years ago, and it's only taken until now to do it.
And my argument is Destiny should have been banned because he is a fake gay.
All right. Oh, man. So, man. Speaking of Destiny, did you see the Kenosha, Up in Kenosha little song?
I know that there's a place called Kenosha in Wisconsin where everything burned down. And I think a guy shot some dudes. Was that there? Is that the Kenosha Kid? Was he that guy? Mm-hmm. Like, he was the guy, he was like...
I don't know if you could say he shot some dudes. Like to say dudes implies they were human and stuff like that. I know he shot... They were fucking commies.
I know he shot someone's arm off.
It was not off, but it was mostly off. It was mostly off.
One of the people he shot, was it him or one of them who said, "Fuck around, find out"? Who said that?
No one said that. That is just the line that libertarians have been saying for many years, and this was just the perfect example of fuck around, find out.
Okay. So it's just, I thought somebody had actually said it.
Okay, to explain you this person real fast.
Yeah.
Like, this person is one of those, like, you would find a goody two-shoes person, thinks everyone's life is meaningful. They do community work. They go pick up trash and clean graffiti off. They they spend all their time like doing shit for communities and stuff like that. And they say Blue Lives Matter not because of they are quote unquote the white supremacists that people think. It's like, no, he's literally just someone that thinks people's lives matter. And recently in this short term, there's been a lot of people pretty much saying cops' lives they flat out don't matter and stuff like that.
Which is true, because there's no such thing as blue lives.
I don't know about that. There's the Blue Man Crew, but besides that.
The Blue Man Group is just a costume, just like the police. They wash that shit off when they get home.
I don't believe you. They're not whitewashing. They're literally blue.
The Blue Man Group are appropriating fucking blue culture, okay? They are straight up not PC. It's not okay to wear skin dye of a different color.
Okay, so what
Hellboy,
I am saying...
all the guys who've played Hellboy, red appropriation.
Yeah. All right, so when it came down to it, this was an argument of whether they most people are trying to say is a fucking insane take that Destiny was saying that this was self-defense. And, you know, I think Destiny would have been actually insane for the takes that he was saying. You know, where he was going and saying that a person, if he's confronted by a mob that wanted to lynch him, that he could just mow down every single person there. And, you know, I find this completely immoral, abhorrent, everything. Just wrong.
What's wrong with it? Why can't you mow down a mob that's coming after you?
Because when it comes down to it, we got to look at this utilitarianly. As Karl Marx says, if it's one person versus... No, as Spock says, Spock. You know, Spock's pretty much the Star Trek Karl Marx. But as it said, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. And because of this, like, if one person dies, that's okay compared to a group of people dying. Now, as I was saying, I would have found Destiny's take to be abhorrent. You know, if there was like 10 people wanting to rape one girl, and it's like, well, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. I'm learning this from Vosh, you know?
Right.
It's a pretty good stance, I believe. But when we go down to it, we are forgetting one little detail. And when we are discussing this, the needs of the many and all that stuff, it only applies to humans. Right. And all I saw were commies and Antifa. None of them were human.
So, wait, whose side are you on? Okay.
That's why I said would have been insane. So yes. I only have to take Destiny's side because they're communist.
Okay. So
Kyle was in the right because they were all communists.
Okay.
I said Kyle was in the right because they were all communists.
Yeah. Okay, you're back. All right. I'm going to have to disagree with you about why Kyle was in the right. We all agree Kyle was in the right, but it's not okay to just kill communists. We just made the whole argument.
Yes, it is.
That you can't just kill your enemies. That's why Destiny was banned from these platforms. So
that's not true.
Look, all right.
We just did the whole argument on why you can't kill commies, and that's why it was banned.
Look, listen. Unknown 6. Let me ask you.
All right.
When you picture the scenario in your head, like you're thinking, like, okay, it's nighttime. There's buildings on fire.
Okay, I'll tell you what it is. It's buildings on fire, and there's this one guy with a rifle, and the business he wants to protect that he loves and cares for is about to be burned down, and then there's 10 hammer and sickles with a whole bunch of stuff just there.
Yeah.
And he's shooting hammer and sickles.
How would you describe their their approach towards him? Because you're thinking about this guy fired off several shots. He's using a rifle, right? So it's like this is a gun you have to really like take time to aim and like get a hold of, you know, maybe load or whatever. Like he's got to
Wait, what?
What?
That is just completely untrue.
Well, okay.
I'm a fucking expert shooter in this shit.
All right, what would you? How would you describe how much time?
An Armalite, it would take, like at the distance that he was doing, it would take less than half a second.
Okay, so how fast do you think the people were coming at him?
They literally grabbed the gun, and that's when he shot.
So, like, okay, you've already seen footage of this, but like when you first...
Oh yeah, I've seen crazy fucking up close detail footage.
When you first heard about it, though, what was your imagination of the situation? Like...
that this guy that is wielding the gun is just shooting targets.
Right.
And the targets happen to be hammers and sickles.
Yeah. How do you imagine those targets coming at him? Like, how would you describe their movement?
Aggressively.
Towards him. Would you picture it as being like... What video game would you consider it similar to?
Doom.
Doom. All right. So you're thinking Doom. So my point is... My point is that these seem like enemies in a video game in your imagination. Because I said...
Only because they're comics.
Because I led you into that. Like... my imagination, because I don't know how guns work, was that they would be shambling like zombies towards him, you know? It's like he's in a zombie game. He's like, oh shit, they're all coming towards me. I gotta, you know, and like select which targets because they're all shambling towards me at once. Because that's what communists are like. They're like zombies, like reanimated corpses barely hanging on to life. And then he's like, oh, you guys can't even afford guns. You're just fucking broke-ass zombies. But then you said Doom, which is more like they're fucking hellspawn demons come to wreak havoc.
No.
Coming at you quick.
They prefer the morally impaired.
The morally impaired. Point being, can we really blame this guy when video games made him like this? We gotta blame the video games. You know? How could he possibly have... If it weren't for Doom, then he probably wouldn't have pulled the trigger, you know?
Wait. That is terrible.
Why?
Because, okay, your stance is we should ban video games or something?
No.
Or what?
No. I said that he is right.
Oh, yeah.
Because video games made him violent, and so he's absolved of all blame.
Okay, good. I thought you were going to say that he was in the wrong.
No, what I'm trying to say is that video games trained him to make the right decision in the moment.
Oh, yes, we have lots of research on this.
Yes, we need more video games so that people will be more ready for situations like this, is what I'm trying to say. So, my argument is... Kyle Rittenhouse was right because video games make you violently prepared for situations where you need to be, I guess. Nice. Or just and make you violently prepared, and that's good. There you go. Yeah. Kyle Rittenhouse is right because video games make you violently prepared, and that is good.
Nice. All right. Did you ever see the Kenosha song, though? The one I linked to you a while back?
I don't remember. Probably.
Aw, man. Because it keeps getting taken down. It's gotten taken down like 5 times. And I'm thinking about making part of it the opening.
Okay. Do it that
I'll probably make a...
I don't pretend to... I know when I let someone edit a show that I am giving them... Like, I am basically implying... I have allowed this person to put me in whatever situation they feel is most appropriate. So, you know, I have some liability, and then I can say, well, I didn't put that shit there. But, like, ultimately, I'm in the podcast, and it's like, look, I just don't give a fuck.
You have no liability because you did the podcast, but I did the editing, and I didn't consult you on the editing.
Well, you did just now.
All right, so I was just saying that there's only part of it I will probably put on, and if you go and watch the link in the description for the MP3 link, I will probably have just a little bit more. This is a song you probably aren't privileged to, as in it keeps getting taken down on YouTube.
Do you think this episode will get taken down if you play too much of the song?
I think it is too much, like certain parts, because I listened to the entire thing like 5 times to try and even comprehend what part is taking it down.
Yeah.
and I think I found out which part, but ultimately it is so crazy of mental gymnastics to justify the taking down of this song. It's actually insane.
I mean,
YouTube,
truthfully, it's
only
always...
way you can take this down. Okay, the only way to take this down is if you truly do not believe in self-defense.
I mean, again, there's really never a reason to take anything down unless it's literally arguing for, like, a specific action of, like, do this violent act, basically. It's just, like, or this, like, criminal act. Like, I don't know. Even then, I just can't, like, speech... Ultimately, if you do something, it comes down to you. You decided to do it. Like, even if I tell you, like, if I tell you to kill yourself, it doesn't make you kill yourself. So, like, I don't know. I can't really say that there's speech I wouldn't defend.
It's hard for me to take that position on the stance because, then again, cancel culture... You know what? Fuck it. Because then you can't even do cancel culture. Because at the same time, they won't take it down because of cancel culture. Fuck it. You know, just have that stance. Can't take it down. But what's it called? I have a different stance that I've fleshed out a lot more. So yeah. You know, that's just crazy and everything. But, and I think most people's stances on that are dumb. But you want to know what's really dumb?
Yeah.
Alright, so Digi, the next topic is the dumbest real arguments you've ever heard about big tech.
Okay. What is the dumbest real argument you've ever heard about big tech? I could tell that you had something in mind for this.
Alright, so I'll go first. Companies don't have a political bias.
Companies don't have a political bias?
That is the dumbest argument I've ever heard.
Yeah. Where did you hear such a retarded argument?
I hear it all the time. Every single time you try to point out that big tech has a political bias, they default to that corporations are there inherently just to make money, which I agree with.
Yeah, well, that's why they have a political bias, you dumb motherfuckers.
No. Okay, no. I don't even think that's why. I'm saying, most are fake in their shit, but when it comes down to it, when it comes to a political
most
bias,
politics are fake in their shit, too. Like, it's all grift.
Okay, so... It's almost all, especially Vosh. But what's it called? When we're going down to it, I always say in the stance of all companies are there to make money, nothing else unless proven otherwise. Big tech, all of them have been proven to have a political bias.
I mean, it's explicit. Like, I mean, what are we considering big tech? Like, name one company that you consider big tech.
Twitter
objectively has a political bias. And if you want to understand how it works, just create a new account. Create a new account where you haven't followed anyone, where you haven't done anything yet, and look at
on a new browser, incognito mode.
Look at what Twitter recommends you. And, like, it does not recommend you anything on, like, from the right. It recommends you every left-leaning, like, talking head or politician or anybody that is imaginable immediately. And it might recommend you Donald Trump, but it won't do him first.
It does, but it's not first, and it's really far down. Yeah. It's something like 15th.
And it's just like, when you look at it, when you're thinking about it from the perspective of, like, what does this mean? Because it obviously means something. They chose which names are there. Like, it's a hand-picked selection. There's no algorithm that you could transpose onto this that would generate this particular result. Like, if you look through all the statistics of these Twitters and things, like, this only makes sense as when you go, like, when you create a Twitter, this is what they want you to follow. And it always tells you who to follow based on what you follow and what infrastructures you're a part of, which is mostly based on the interactions between people. So it's like, if, say, I follow, like, if you start following people,
literally all my suggestions to follow are people that follow me. They don't.
Yeah, usually they are. And if you follow people from, like, let's say, the Kaliak community, they're all people who respond to one another a lot, like who retweet one another a lot. So if you follow one of them, you're very likely to get recommended more of them, even though they have a very like extreme esoteric political belief system. Because of the fact that they are all so interconnected, Twitter assumes if you follow one, you'd be interested in pretty much all of the rest. But you have to actively find people like that. Like, you would never find Kaliak if not for the fact that you were following somebody who would retweet them, and you would only be following someone who retweets them because you found them from somewhere else. Like, everybody who's alternative on Twitter who has a big following, they're big somewhere else. They're not famous from Twitter. Like, the people who are specifically big on Twitter, like the biggest, are the ones that Twitter wants to be the biggest because they want them to have the biggest effect on the people who use Twitter. And so, like, it creates this weird matrix realm where, like, there's a totally different reality from what is real that is managed by Twitter. And, like, we choose to participate in it even if we're more alternative because it's funny that the platform even allows that it's just so big and bloated and weirdly run that it doesn't really care that you do like your weird ops on it, because like that just makes it just means you're even more participant. You're probably the biggest. The people who hate the system the most are always the power users, so yeah.
Okay, so I had a little bit more of an objective reasoning on why Twitter's as well. Yeah. It's actually a part almost everyone skipped over on the Jack Dorsey interview on Joe Rogan, when it was just Joe Rogan and Jack Dorsey. I don't think almost anyone caught it. In fact, I think everyone skipped over it, thinking it was just a bullshit thing. But it's pretty much Jack Dorsey admitting that the company is, first and foremost, the number one goal isn't to make a profit. Making a profit is one of their goals, but what's it called? They do it with a highly politically biased lens. Yeah. He pretty much flat out admitted it by saying,
because Twitter would not have a way of even operating if it wasn't, like, Twitter bleeds money. It was not financially stable. It had, like, it can't serve enough ads that are effective enough to its platform to survive. Like, I watched the stock go down because my dad foolishly bought Twitter stock at some point, and, like, I know that it doesn't have a way of making money other than to be a different type of ad platform, which is to say a PSYOP machine. Like, I call Twitter the PSYOP machine. Like, that's what it's for. It is to make you believe in a different world,
So, as I was trying to say, in one of the interviews, when it comes down to it, it was talking about political beliefs and why they do their bans and hate speech in these three categories. And Jack Dorsey's response was something along the lines of, we believe that we've gotten so big that we have to take a responsibility in how we shape the people around us and the environments around us and everyone that we use. And everyone that uses our platform. I meant to say.
We need
but
to
what's it
exert
called?
authoritarian
That literally
control over the
is
way
saying.
you think.
That is literally saying that they have to prescribe that they're taking responsibility for what is on their platform, so that they have to lead it into a certain way that they think should be led, right. Which is, and when it was in the reference of political beliefs, that is literally them omitting the political bias. And I honestly think that is the reason why every single interview from that moment on, they had a lawyer.
Yeah.
Like a lawyer that was drilled to hell and back.
I don't know if I consider Twitter to necessarily be big tech, though, because Twitter is nowhere near on the level of like Google or Facebook or... And I do think that all these things have political biases as well. But like... I don't think they're necessary. Like, Facebook, I don't think is necessarily...
Twitter was just one example. Twitter is just one example.
Yeah.
I have examples for every single one of them.
Okay. Because like when I think about Facebook as compared to Twitter, like Twitter is very clearly bought and paid for by the left. Facebook is just in the interest of throwing money around and making chaos. Like Twitter is just about making you as angry as possible about everyone. You know, like I reached a point on Twitter where I've muted almost everybody. I mean, on Facebook, I've muted almost everybody who I'm friends with on Facebook because it's mostly family or old friends, and I hate everything they post. You know, and like I don't want to engage with posts that make me angry. I would rather avoid them. Whereas, like, Facebook wants you to get angry because anger tends to drive engagement more, you know?
That's literally Twitter.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're both like that, but Twitter is only doing it in... Like, Twitter has right-wing and conservative and all that kind of stuff on there because, of course, it does. It exists, and Twitter doesn't have time to, like, literally manufacture a one-sided environment, and if they did, it would give the left nobody to fight. But, like, it's very clear when you sign up for a new account, like, what Twitter wants you to be. You know, like, whose voice they want you to hear. And when you go on Facebook, they want you to hear the voice of your family and friends. They just want you to fight with them, you know? So, like, it's not about necessarily pushing a leftist or a right-wing agenda. It's just about pushing agendas so that people will fight over agendas because that makes the most money. It's people just fighting over agendas, you know? That's why Facebook's about, like, groups. It's about the Facebook group. Twitter wanted to have that with, like, lists and stuff, but it just doesn't have the same effect. People mostly just follow what they want to see, so it creates bubbles where you don't engage with anybody who you disagree with except for in the quote tweets of people who you agree with, you know?
All right. So, I think I've thoroughly proved my point on what I fucking hate. Good. And why I think it's the most fucking retarded out there argument. Do you have one?
The dumbest big tech argument.
Because there's like three I have. The
dumbest big tech argument is that Bill Gates didn't do COVID. Look.
Oh, come on.
Bill Gates did COVID.
Okay, fine.
Look, okay. Right before COVID, a lot of people don't know this. It seems to have gone really under the radar, and which is impressive to me considering the severity of it in my mind.
Yeah, I know. I agree. COVID has gone under the radar.
Not COVID.
It's pretty impressive.
I'm talking about before COVID, or around the same time as it began. The government passed a new like legislation or some shit.
Hold on, fuck it.
Yeah.
I want one more drink for this.
Okay.
This is going to be one hell of an argument. Okay. Give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Hey, I'm going to cut out that whole thing. Whatever.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to cut it. I made noise the whole time.
Please don't. It was so weird the first time.
I made some cool noise.
It was so weird the first time. I was tempted to cut it out.
Did you leave it in the first time?
I left it in.
This one's better, so you gotta leave this one in too.
God damn it.
The audience will crave to hear what they wouldn't have heard.
Not a single person I've talked to about that point liked it.
Alright, well, we'll see how I think they'll like this one. I think they'll appreciate it. You can decide when you listen to it back. If it makes you laugh, you have to leave it in. If it makes you want to die,
if it makes me laugh,
but not laugh,
okay,
then leave it in anyways.
Oh, fuck you. Okay, so if it makes me chuckle, even slightly, I gotta leave it in.
Yeah.
But if it's so bad it makes me want to die, I also have to leave it in. So if it's anywhere in between there, I can take it out.
Okay, I'll agree with that. All right. So anyway, what my argument, what I was trying to say is that before COVID, the government passed this new shit that made it so they are now allowed to collect and sell data. The government can sell your data in the same way that other sites, you know, stuff like Facebook, all the same way that all of them collect and sell your data.
Holy shit, when was this?
Like right before
that's actually
COVID.
Well, okay, I can somewhat see an argument for that.
Now, so the government implements the ability for themselves to sell data.
Can I ask one thing? when it says they can sell data like the way corporations do and all that, are they still restricted to the laws that they apply and what you can and can't sell?
I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't read into anything I'm about to say. I hear things. Oh, okay. I hear things, and I remember the best parts. I remember the parts.
Right. This is going to be an amazing conversation.
Yeah.
Then.
All right. So
because I'm not against it if it's the same thing that corporations are doing. I'm highly against it if they're going even further. Well, because that was literally the premise on why TikTok was being banned. When people were saying, "Oh, it sells your information." Fuck off. You shouldn't have said that as your slogan on why TikTok was banned.
They're all selling
it was literally because.
Selling, okay,
well,
it's not just that they're selling information. It's that selling information is the only trade that actually means anything currently. Like, Amazon is so rich, mostly from information trade. Like, the information they sell about what you...
I don't think
No, that's true. There's a channel called Polymatter on YouTube that has a bunch of, like, in-depth analyses into, like, how Amazon makes its money and shit. But, like, the biggest portion of their sales, you know, in terms of, like, one contributing factor is the information.
You know what? Actually, now that I think of it, that pretty much is a huge chunk because everything else takes an amount. Like, okay, so when you're shipping a product and everything like that,
information costs nothing to store or share. Is what you're trying to say?
Yeah. Well. Yeah, something. Well, it does cost a little bit to store. Almost nothing, though.
So, Amazon has the most information out of anything about people's buying habits because they sell the most things. So, the fact that they have that information...
That's actually... that's probably the most useful information of everything. Right. Because it's like, it's one thing to go, it's like, oh, this person watches this, watches this. But it's like way more effective. Okay, yeah, you talk and sell about what they watch? Yeah. Bitch, please, I show what they buy.
And like, if you know like Amazon Basics, right? Like that's the development of, after all these years of people buying things on Amazon, seeing things that people have a tendency to buy like regularly, that people always need to replace, but Amazon says, okay, well, we can undercut, like we can cut the cost of production and cut the cost of like having a middleman, like being the middleman for this product by creating it in-house because it is so cheap to produce that like just by it being exclusive to Amazon and not having to be on a storefront, we can make it cheaper than if it had to be on a storefront, and therefore Amazon Basics can be like just as good as what would have been the cheapest thing, but cheaper. You know, like that is where that kind of data guides the decision making of the company.
Okay, no, I've actually looked into that part.
Yeah,
I didn't know about what their most effective money making thing is, but when it comes down to it, I've looked into that part. That's actually not how that works.
No, how does it work?
Oh no, it's actually way more evil than that.
Okay.
So what's it called? When it comes down to it, there can be this new business that pops up, and the thing that actually, the real life example was baby, what was it called? Diapers. Mm-hmm. A new baby diaper company is building up, and now they're selling a lot. In fact, they're buying from them for cheap instead of buying on Amazon. So what does Amazon do? They actually lower the cost so much that they put the cost on the website lower than what the store does, and they will take the hit on that thing so that it forces you to want to buy from Amazon instead because it is literally that cheap.
Right.
So to the point of like, because the store sees nothing different. It's like, oh, you lowered our diapers by 50%, but you're still paying us the 100%. We don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah. So this is what they do. They go and they will undercut the shit out of them, take the hit for however many years it takes to bankrupt that other company. They will literally bankrupt another company that isn't even much of a direct competition, but it is somewhat. They will literally bankrupt them just so that they can be the only like real ones to sell. And then the moment they get bankrupt and they have to sell their shit and whatnot, and they buy it or whatnot, now they bought it, and then they put it on Amazon, and then they jack up the prices for a good while to recuperate all their losses.
But then they could just put it wherever they want it to be long term once they've recouped the losses, right? See, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Amazon is basically like it seems like the tactics that Jeff Bezos uses are basically like, I am making sacrifices for long term good. Like, he basically, his tack is the ends justify the means, period. That's just the way I'm living my life. You know, it's like, It's actually hilarious because a lot of his tactics are literally the same that I use on WoW. Makes sense. But like on WoW, there's no. Well, I mean, there are human consequences, but it's like more well, I can't even say it's more opt-in, right? Because like you opt into having a job. You don't have to have a home or a job or live in society. So like, I don't know. Fuck it. It's no different from WoW.
Yeah.
Anyone who's not homeless is a fucking coward. Let's just be real. Homelessness is where it's at.
To be fair, if you want the most cost efficient way of living, it's usually if you have one of those vans that you can have your little life in the end, where it has like a little bit of like a mini fridge, a small stove, like a really small stove, and then a place to sleep. And then you have your van, and then you buy a workout subscription with the place that usually has a pool, because if they have a pool, it's guaranteed that they have a shower place. So you can take your showers, pay, what's it, like $20 a week? You go and you can have your freaking showers, or not a week, a month. You can have unlimited showers, use as much water as you want, and stay fit. It's like, literally, that is the cheapest you can live, and that actually drastically reduces how much you pay in everything, utilities, whatever.
You say cheapest way you can live, but you mean the cheapest way you can live in a city. Because the cheapest way you can live is to just grow your own shit and like build your own place. I'm more of a I'm more interested in like
the cheapest way to live while still using modern society.
Right. Like I think I would be more interested in living off the grid, because as long as I had I don't know, I'd still want internet though. But like with 5G, I just want a 5G box. Like there's a band that I've gotten into recently called Vantana Row, where it's a married couple who lives in a van, and they just drive around San Francisco and do drive-by shows where they just play out the side of the van at people on the street and then like sell them merch and CDs and stuff. And it's pretty fucking sick. And I look at it and I'm like, living in a van seems pretty cool. It's like kind of a high-tech, like, well, the van itself is cheap, but like the interior, they have computers and monitors and shit set up. So it's like,
Some of my friends in the military, and even for a few years after the military, they pretty much just lived in their van. In fact, the money that they made from the military, because they refused to spend it, and then the last like few years that they were in the military, they just had the van and whatnot. They lived without getting a job.
I truly think that we are the guilt generation, where like basically we have been convinced to give ourselves tinier and tinier boxes because we are more satisfied taking
that
up.
Is Japan.
We are capable of doing more in smaller spaces, and therefore we are more content to be in smaller spaces, and we are also convinced to put ourselves in those smaller spaces because we are told that like we need to feel guilty about taking it from someone else. But at the same time,
no, I don't feel guilty about taking it from someone else. I literally just go, is this cheaper and can I still live efficiently?
Right.
If yes, then I take it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people are commanded by this guilt, and I think that like there's people who people who just don't understand that like if you leave the place you're at, you could be in a place that works totally differently, And like in the American South, I live in Virginia Beach. It's pretty cheap to live here. If you were to move to like North Carolina, you can get houses that are cheaper than what it costs to rent an apartment. Like you can buy a house and pay less per month than it would cost to rent a small apartment in like just a regular city. You know, like not even like
depends
a nice
on the city. It's not every city. I know. I've done this. What's it called? I remember in Virginia Beach, if I remember it. No, Virginia Beach. It was what's it called? It was more expensive to rent than it was to buy a house. But there was another. I'm trying to remember which place it was. Shit, I don't remember off the top of my head. There is another. There's quite a few places where it's actually more expensive to buy the house than it is to rent. It all really depends on where you live.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, and you can go anywhere. Like, I think people like are terrified of. Like, people want. By the way, I guess what I'm trying to say is people feel very entitled to consistency within their life. That like I personally I never had that because I moved constantly growing up. So like the idea of being like, oh, I want to have these structural changes in society so that I can do like 80% of the exact same shit I'm doing now, but just fix these 20%. And it's like, to me, it's like, if you really have a problem with the structure, you could totally uproot and create a totally new structure somewhere else, or find somewhere that has a structure that better fits your needs. But it's like, they don't want to go somewhere else. They want it to be good where they are so they can stay there, so they can be around the people who are there who won't leave, you know?
All right.
But it's like, to me, it's like, fuck those people. If they won't either leave or make it better, then fuck them, you know?
Yeah. All right, I'll give some economic advice, you know, to every single motherfucker in the audience, and even you, Digi. Okay, so this is what it is. The biggest reason that people are so, like, in their ways stay and everything like that is because they were raised by their parents and everything like that, and they were comfortable with their life of what they had, and they wanted to keep that same life.
Yeah.
They're not even thinking that it took, like, 20 plus years for them to build up to those standards that you were comfortable living in, so you're not going and starting back from square one and then working all the way back up.
Yeah, check your fucking privilege,
that is,
bitch.
That is number one, the fault. But the number two thing that everyone forgets is live within your means, which also includes moving. When, like, the biggest thing when people talk about, oh, it's impossible for me to be here and then do all this and live and get accelerated, it's like, fucking move.
Right.
Like, what's it called? Moving is really fucking cheap depending on how much you want to take.
Yeah.
Because every little thing that you want to take makes the price go up.
You don't need any of it. And you don't need any of it. Like, that's the thing. You don't need anything. You don't need anything.
And that's when I was arguing. I know. When
Food,
I was
water,
arguing
shelter.
with a lot of these,
that's it.
When I was arguing with a lot of these fucking commies, like, they're at one point they're saying, well, property doesn't matter and everything like that. Your life is what matters. And then I talk to them about leaving, and they're all like, well, I can't leave. I have all this and this and this. And I'm like, you were just fucking talking about how property doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, fucking abandon it and then leave. And it's like, you're supposed to move to where it is economically viable for you. That is the number one thing if you want to get rich. Is look at the jobs that you are going for and then look at the cost of living, because if your job pays like what, $3,000 a month, and then but it costs like $2,900 to live there, and then another place they give you like $1,500, but it costs $500 to live there. These aren't real numbers, but I'm putting it out there as an example. Then you might want to move to the 1,500 because you're still getting more at the end of the day.
The fact of the matter is,
this is what moving
I think the reason the people are so afraid to move is not. You convince yourself it's financial or it's time based. It doesn't take long and it doesn't cost much. I've done it fucking 22 times. You can literally just throw your shit in a car and go. It's not fucking hard. People convince themselves it's hard because it is an experience of ego death. Like, you cut off a major part of what your life has been. You adapt to the...
I'm going to go on a limb.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out and go even further than that. If you're poor, you can still fucking move.
Yeah.
You can be poor, homeless, and everything and still fucking move.
Well, it's easy to move if you're homeless because you ain't fucking got anything. You literally just walk around and move, you know?
I don't even say walk around. Literally take the fucking bus. Yeah. If you know the bus schedule, you could be taking the bus,
walk.
pay the...
I don't understand why people find it so hard to walk. If you spend a few... I don't think I would have trouble...
Okay, no, I won't say walk just because
I know you won't.
The distance... Okay, no, I'm saying don't walk as in the distance for you to get to the place you want. That is going to take a lot of time. Most cities have some kind of free internet place, or even if they don't have an internet place... some kind of like thing you can go on the computer. It's usually like pay and buy like some little thing that only costs like maybe even $10. You'd say $10, that might be a lot for a homeless person. That is,
you
like,
know how you get $10?
Bumming for a few hours.
Ask people.
Bumming for a few hours.
Literally just bum around. Like, people will give you money if you ask.
Like, here's the thing. After these few hours of bumming for that, then you bum for... I don't know, however many hours. You get like $100, maybe $200, depending on how far you want to go and need to go, and do your research on the fucking free computer. You go, fucking move. Get a bus, go to there, learn the bus schedule, get from there to there to there to the next place, until you end up to the place you want, and then try to live there. Because if you're homeless...
I mean, frankly, we don't have to make this rhetorical. Anybody who actually can hear this podcast can easily fucking move. We don't even have to go this far.
I know. I'm saying, like, in every, like, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's, like, a piece of cake. But at the same time, you can do it. You can do it.
Yeah. I don't remember why we're talking about this anymore.
Big tech and the most stupid opinions, and you're talking about Bill Gates and
Keno. Oh my god, I haven't even finished that yet. All right, let's get through that. All right, so the government made it so that they could sell your data. Right before that, we all get put on lockdown, or right after that, we all get put on lockdown, so that we are at our computer just giving data to the government. Like, so I think I'm
not even 100% against this idea, because if you look at it, the amount of, what's it called? I've been trying to buy a monitor for months, but the prices have raised so drastically that I'm saying I refuse to buy one until the prices go back down. Everyone's working from home. They're almost always out of stock. Every time I go to Best Buy, I just pop up and... I just call them now, and I say, "Oh yeah, you have them." And it's like, we have like one here. It's, it's almost like $1,000. And it's like it used to be like $300, but everyone's buying them, and it's like we can't make them fast enough. And I'm like, "Fuck y'all."
Well, it sounds like there's a job opening right there that some people
it is.
Seek.
It literally is. If people want, you can go and start making monitors. Reason why? A lot of people got jobs.
If you're listening to this and you are capable of making a monitor for the Unknown Otaku, you should negotiate. Negotiate a price.
I don't know about that.
You don't trust
because
your fans
then I would
to
have
make
to give
a
them
monitor for you?
No, I trust them to make the monitor. It's just the fact of when buying, I would have to give my information.
Well, just get a PO box. It'll be less expensive than the cost of the monitors at Best Buy.
It probably would be, but me getting the money to them. That's
once
you
have a PO box, people can send you snacks and shit, like from Australia or whatever.
That sounds tempting, but I still the problem is me getting the money to them.
You can't just like escrow them some cash.
Escrow?
Yeah, it's like a thing. You send cash to people. Send them fucking Bitcoin.
I can do Bitcoin, but very few. The biggest problem with that is I have to trust them to get me the fucking monitor.
Yeah, that's true. Well, anyway, so Bill Gates, he had made this whole video about pandemics like 5 years ago.
Yes,
it started trending once this whole thing started so that he could get into the media about it. I basically think that they started this plan back then, Bill Gates and the government, and I think it's because of the fact that, like, Microsoft obviously is trading in data as well, but, like, Google beat them on search engine, Fucking, they have no presence on like media hosting, really. So they can't compete with like YouTube on data collection for Google. You know, they can't. They can't compete with Netflix on terms of like getting people to just sit down and fucking consume all day.
Yeah, I know, Netflix, you know, the place where it shows cuties, you know? You just can't get that pedophile audience.
So
like Netflix.
So like ultimately Bill Gates is like, okay, well, Microsoft isn't in this game, but how do I get into the data collection game? Who do I need to work with? Who else is dying to get in on the data collection game that we can run a scheme with? The US government, right? These are entities of about probably equal power or so. So the government and Bill Gates devise a plan of, okay, we'll make it so we can sell their data. Then we'll create a circumstance, a fake story about, like, we'll create a virus that is ultimately fairly benign and basically just like something that would have probably happened anyways, or we'll convince them that it would have probably happened anyways. But like, you know, we'll implement the idea of this virus. We'll have it come out. We'll make it look like we, you know, like, oh, we talked about this years ago. You should have known this was going to happen because Bill Gates did a whole thing about it. Remember? You go, no, I don't remember that, but now I do, I guess. And then he comes on TV to tell you about it, and then they make you feel afraid of it, so you lock yourself in your house without them even pointing a gun at you. And you continue to do that for 6 months for some fucking reason. And then you hear the statistics that it was never nearly as bad as they said, and then you think,
it was.
Ooh, I bet the government got a lot of my data really fast, you know?
Okay, there's a few underlying things I'm going to say right now. I honestly think the reason why we're all so fucking crazy and rioting and all that shit has been because we've been locked up in this pandemic for so long. I
agree.
I'm not going to make it like a lot of people say, oh, you want to undo the lockdowns for an economic thing? I'm like, fuck that. I'm not going to make an economic argument. I'm not going to make I want to do this argument. I'm going to say the reason why these fucking riots and everything that is happening is because we have been locked down. So many people are fucking unemployed and everything. Yeah. How about we go halfway and say, let's undo the lockdown, undo everything about this fucking thing, but keep in the regulations of social distancing, wear the mask and all that shit. Just have everything go normal except for travel outside of the US and back to the US. Have everything else normal. And then have the regulations on how to act. Let's fucking do that. Meet halfway. And
I mean, it's funny you say that because what you're describing is what it's like in Virginia Beach. Like, there is no. All right. You're getting a little too into like real opinions of yours right now.
I'm fucking tired of this corona shit. This is. Like, what's it called? I'm actually fucking livid of this. And it's like, I want it to fucking open back up.
I do too. Do we have anything that we end this show with after we're done with the last argument?
I don't think we finished the Bill Gates.
Well, I mean, essentially it's just simply that I think Bill Gates orchestrated the coronavirus as an idea with the government. I think they sold that idea to China, and China played along. Ultimately, I think that China went, like, I don't know if they went too far with it or like what they, like, because when they did the coronavirus, they did it in a much more violent, obtrusive, and like insane kind of way. We did it in
I fucking love
a much more relaxed
because
way, you know.
Honestly, I think people are actually retarded or just ignorant on it because what's it called? I love this. I laughed so hard when it was talking about how China goes and fucking like fucking forces people to not leave their house, and it's like that's killing and everything like that. And then they look at Trump and say, well, why didn't you do it like China? And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, you don't want to do it like China.
I was like, what?
So we didn't do it as bad as China did, but we still, I don't know. It just seems to me like the incentives. I think that pretty much summarizes my theory. I think that the end goal for Bill Gates is to, get us more corralled than ever before, get some kind of technology or vaccine or fucking micro machine that goes into your fucking bloodstream that they can track. Just make you more traceable, basically. Give the government reasons. Like, I basically think that this is an excuse for the government to be able to trace you in a way that companies have not been able to figure out how to do yet. Because, like, Google cannot launch a biological warfare against the populace, and the government can, So, like, this is the government's way of creating a circumstance where they will be able to get some kind of data out of us that companies weren't able to get. That's my expectation. Well, that's all for tonight's episode of the TransTrenders podcast. The show that talks about, everything.
Every fucking thing possible.
I have nothing left to say. Do you want to make a parting comment?
I don't think it's gone on long enough. I just finished the last bit of my alcohol.
Good.
I poured like 10 more shots and just finished it like 10 minutes ago. So I'm not even maximum drunk yet.
About to roll my post-show blunt. So that's it, everybody. Bye.
Bye.